just depends. You know what I mean? Right?
Yes, I will.
Anyway, can you watch
It's a lot to choose from.
You should watch that. It's really good. With SC stuff.
Oh,
You can log into my account if you want. No, you're probably better. I was like, from what I understand,
I subscribed for this one just so that I can.
But
you got people there?
Yeah.
I mean, all kinds of different
Yeah.
spiritual moments in time have happened in it.
That's a hot to guess.
So,
Some
it's got a special energy and some
That's
very
not
really
gonna
resonated.
It
That
doesn't go
special energy
through
that
my
allows
account.
us.
Like, nope.
good.
Sorry.
It has to
And
itself.
from
Yeah,
that,
you go.
stand
magic.
They must have seen if you were
old
doing
things
it
to new things.
years of just like, stop,
Yeah.
stop.
It's like a crossroads or
And then
something.
again,
Yeah.
for 1 month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very interesting.
You can use that for the shape for the rest of the jerk.
It is cool, but
I like
it's
to
something
think they
fun.
work.
It's very cool. What can be
Yeah.
very intense.
All right, everyone.
Okay.
We're about ready.
All right. Okay.
8 o'clock.
Bonnet
Okay, let's
is
do it.
like,
If you want to grab
Yeah, it's been a lot.
drinks,
Going down.
food,
Is that right?
alcoholic beverages in the fridge, we're going to get started.
Pressure,
Yes.
Grapefruit or lime?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, it is true. I'm just here
Yeah.
providing as I typed it out. Eating the food and drinking the drinks.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, feel free to pull up the chairs closer if you want, or sit back, whatever you want. We're just going to sit here, but we will project. There are a couple seats here as well, and I'll give out handouts to everybody. And I'll go over the format for the evening. I'm
Is
excited.
he here?
Yep.
I feel like
Perfect.
he's leaving around here.
She's going to sit here. If you want to sit here, you can. Make more room. Yeah, you can sit over here. That way, yeah, you're close to Seb, close to me.
Symposium stuff. Nice.
Great.
Is it too fresh for you there?
Do we need more pens?
Fucking love it.
Oh yeah, maybe some pens. I have some.
Nobody study.
Do you have some pens for Norm, or should I look for pens just to take notes for people? Yeah.
And maybe maybe also.
And then Lena, if you'll sit right here.
Yeah, you're right. You go away.
That's better for the positioning of the light and the microphone.
Oh, dude. Wait, the car's close.
Yeah, sure.
You can run and get it.
I'm gonna run.
Alright, so
Am I gonna hold you guys up if I'm like 5 minutes?
You just-
No, that's totally fine.
Okay.
I have this chair actually.
Okay, sure. I was like, dude.
did you say EJ have a chair? Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it when other non-EJ stick up for EJs. I appreciate that.
You helped an EJ today.
Yeah.
Yes! Because Lord knows they helped
Have
you.
have you given them some permission?
Oh my god.
I thought it was so fun.
It was like a hot day, but it's like, it's for me. Well, there's somewhere it is.
It is raining somewhere. You're not wrong.
Oh, can you turn that light back on? Sorry, it's just for the. Yeah. Oh, I guess I got him. Oh, there we go. That'll just be better for the camera.
Magic.
Yeah. All right, so we're just gonna wait 5 minutes to start. Is that good? I'll hand out our printouts.
Thank you. Oh, that's
This is what we need.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. That food was so delicious.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It's my treat to get to share some of Santa Fe with all of you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
What do you think about the light? The light, no?
Oh.
Too bright for you?
No, it just maybe there's a glitch or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Tomorrow here?
Okay. Cool.
You want one?
Maybe it's the back.
I guess it comes up.
Yeah. Okay. Easy.
I was like really into it before. It's really cool.
There's that one quick thing. There you go. Yeah, just a little
Probably.
bit.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
It's a little bright, but you're okay with that, right?
Right.
Would you rather I move the mic and sit over here?
Oh, yeah. Oh.
When I was much younger, when I was a teenager,
Come here this way.
I'm definitely 4. I'm
Actually, I wouldn't mind washing my
It feels very good now, though.
So we're just waiting for one more person to return.
Night out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the wind.
It's gonna rain tomorrow, I think.
Oh yeah. It's gonna
So
start
not just-
raining and drop down by like 15 degrees or something.
All right. Could you?
Here he is.
Want to get? Okay. That's what we need a green room for. There's no green room. All right, let's get started then. One more handout. Oh, one for you as well. Did you pass that along?
I've got one of these.
Oh, but for him, this one.
Does anyone need one of these? Thank you.
Yeah, and then for you.
And there's some pens here.
All right, wonderful. Thank you all for coming to the Symposium on Personality Typology. What a fun thing. Thank you. Yeah, clap for yourselves. Thank you. You're the personality typologists of Sydney. I mean, I'm excited. This is something we don't really see. I mean, we've had a few little events here and there, but like you have a real community. This is awesome. This is really cool. So I'm Jonah Dempsey.
And I'm Lina Larsson.
And we've been doing these personality symposiums. We met through personality typology, through the objective personality system, our shared interest. And we've been mostly studying around 4 systems of personality now. OPS, Enneagram, the expanded instincts, which we'll be looking at now, and attitudinal psyche. And it's impossible to study all 4 at once because you have to go really deep into one, but then you sort of zoom out again and you sort of see where does it fit. Is it an alternative to one of the others, or is it a different layer? And today we're looking at one that is very distinct as its own layer. And that's what I like about it, is that it's so distinct. Its creator, Rob Zeke Colopy, has really done a good job of setting a boundary of what it describes. And it's very specific. And so certain things like OPS seemingly describe everything and all of reality and all of life, and you can take it to a really, really vast place. This is something very simple where Rob really developed this system, the expanded instincts, sometimes known as the Enneagram expanded instincts, but it really is its own system. He developed it because he saw this very specific thing that hadn't really been explored, or maybe had been conflated with Enneagram and needed to be decoupled and be explored on its own. And so Rob's perspective of Enneagram, to me, is really compelling. It's a very interesting perspective. He sees your Enneagram type, which is not what we're going to be looking at, as your ego fixation and as your strategy for avoiding death, and in some ways as your own personal hell, or at least what you're trying to avoid as a personal hell. So like in typing videos or trying to figure out somebody's type, when they're talking in the negative and talking about the shadow and all of the darkness and all of the things they've had to realize about their ego fixations, that's all Enneagram. And that's kind of the hell people are running away from, and that's where they have a big ego around something. It's nothing at all what question Rob is asking, because he's asking, what's your heaven? What makes you feel alive? Where do you get libido? Where do you get energy? What makes you feel fully energized and animated, and is really like your own unique vision of heaven? So that's the question we're going to be asking ourselves tonight as we go through the 9 instincts. And each of these instincts does have some kind of correlation. I mean, it's the same position as an Enneagram type, but if you know Enneagram, I would say it's almost easier if you don't know Enneagram, because then you don't bring any baggage into it. If you do know Enneagram, you can start to puzzle about how they relate to the Enneagram type that's in the same position, and you can start to think about how interesting and the kind of the different version of it. But this is really a distinct thing. So it's not like you're an Enneagram 1 or an Enneagram 7. Or you can't just use your Enneagram type to figure out what your instinct is. And there's something really cute about that. I happen to identify as an Enneagram 7, as a 731, and Lena is a 9, as a 952. So we actually have we have some wings in common, but we have no core fixes in common. And yet we both have unknown as our lead instinct. And I'll go into what that means, but essentially we both feel truly alive, exploring the mysteries of the unknown and discovering new purposes and following our curiosity. And so our friend Jason said something really sweet. He was getting into this system. We were talking to him about it. And he said, so you each ran away from your respective hells, but you met in heaven, which is a cute idea. We each ran from our different Enneagram fixes, but then we both have unknown. And maybe some of you do, and we'll see. So just like in Enneagram, at least in the most contemporary Enneagram, not the narrative tradition, but most contemporary Enneagram uses trifix. And this is no different. The expanded instinct also uses trifix, which is this idea that you actually have one fix from self-survival, one from interpersonal, and one from purpose, and not necessarily in that order. You could be purpose first, and then interpersonal, or interpersonal first, and then self-survival. So the order, some people immediately get it when they hear it. They're like, that is my primary one. I think it's actually easier, if you have that epiphany moment, great, then just go with it. But if you don't, it's easier just to figure out which is your self-survival fix or instinct, which is your interpersonal instinct, and which is your purpose instinct. And you get all three of those, and then you actually will get a cute nickname. This is the next handout. I'm not going to give it out yet to spoil it. I'm just going to tease that you each get a cute nickname based on which three you are. And these were created by the creator of the system, Rob Zeke Colopy. Just as a side note, both Lena and I know Rob. She's taken a lot of classes with him, and we chat with him online. But he gave me permission to teach this. I would not teach it if he didn't give me that permission, because I have a lot of respect for this as like one of his babies. He's also developed attitudinal psyche. He gave me permission to teach that, with the caveat that we are independent researchers, and he hasn't reviewed what we're teaching, and he doesn't officially condone of anything. He just said, you guys have permission, as independent researchers, if you want to explore this and teach it and look at it, go for it. So let's begin, unless there are any questions up front. Oh, and then I guess just the general format, just finishing the overview. We're going to go through the self-survival instincts, pause for questions if anybody has any questions about those, clarify anything, interpersonal instincts, and then we're going to go through the purpose instincts. And your goal will be to identify which one of the three for each of those areas feels like the best fit for you. Obviously, there's only three, and so they're each going to be pretty vast, but hopefully our descriptions will make it somewhat apparent. And then we're going to take a break, and Lena is going to describe how to make digital collages. And we're not going to force you to, but we strongly encourage everyone to do this. It's not scary. Maybe you could describe a little bit about the collage exercise?
Because we're seeing that if you make a collage, then there is themes and archetypes and stuff that comes up from art also. So not just talking about it in an intellectual way, but also it's a great tool to just see also if it matches, if it seems, or you can see different angles of your personality type from making art. And right now, doing this digital collage is the way that we have seen so many that we can see the patterns. So that's why we do in a specific format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it sounds intimidating, but it can literally be as easy as, like, I'm going to make a collage during the break, and it's just going to be looking up images that click with me, not overthinking it. I mean, I don't think, do we have a theme this time, or is there a theme?
Making your heaven, I think, because it's about the expanded instinct is kind of like our heaven. So
Okay, or just images you really
drawn
like.
to.
I guess
Yeah.
things you're drawn to. I mean, because I don't want, if we say heaven, people might just start looking for like pearly gates and trumpets and angels, but just things that you're really drawn to. Images that you're just like ooh, and you see that image and it's just a ooh type image, and you could be getting these on Pinterest or on Google Image or anything. And the absolute easiest way, if you just, since we only have half an hour, you can literally just pick 9 images that you like and then save them to your camera and screenshot the camera roll. It'll be on a 9 grid. And then you can just crop it and that'll be your collage. If you want to get a little more advanced, you made a collage last night, and then what was your experience?
It was on Pinterest. I've never used Pinterest before. I know what it is, but I've never really created an account. So I created an account, downloaded the app, put my interest in there, and then it showed me some things, and from there I was refining.
And you used the built-in collage maker on it.
Yeah, Pinterest, the app on the phone has you can make your own collage.
Yeah, so you have a few options. It shouldn't be intimidating.
Funky and you use Canva.
I've used
a lot,
Canva.
yeah.
I mean, if you have something that arranges images, you can use it. You can also just download the images to your camera roll. That's what I'm going to be doing, just because it's only half an hour and I want to spend more time looking for images than arranging them. But it's totally up to you. And then what we'll do when we come back from the break, we will actually, this is a projector screen, and we're actually going to put them up and look at them. So yeah, nothing that you don't want everyone else to see. only put things you're okay with sharing with people. But hopefully, if it's something that's really drawing you in and really exciting to you, and then you would want to share that with people and go, yeah, this is what I'm into. So,
Yeah,
but most of all, don't overthink it.
Can we share your type nickname?
Sure, yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, so I asked you to do that before we met and share your collages and stuff. And the type you thought you were is nicknamed Pixelated Dreamscape, and that's what your collages look like.
Well, yeah, and I didn't
So,
know that because
yeah,
I mean,
you didn't
lest
know.
you think that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like try to make. So that's another reason I'm not giving out the names yet. So you can't be like, ooh, what do people say I am? I'm gonna try to do that. It's more fun if you just make collages and then you randomly happen to make some weirdly specific aesthetic that is associated with your type. It's more of like, oh, okay, like. But now I get it. Rob is really, really good at coming up with nicknames. Like he looked at a bunch of collages from people like me, and yeah, they do. I mean, there is going to be a range, and the other thing is like once you've made a number of collages, you get tired of making the same thing, and you start exploring other themes and other aesthetics. But
Is the collage like just any pictures, or are there like specific things for each photo?
I would say don't overthink it, and just if you want to get a start, just go on Pinterest or on Google Images and just search for something. Last time, well, I don't want to say what I searched for because I don't want to give people any ideas. You can literally search for anything. Like literally, I will not say a single word about what you can search for. This is your search. So whatever comes into your head, and later we can all talk about what we searched for if we want. But that's not required. It's just the main idea is we'll get these collages, we'll have the break, then we'll show them. And then before we analyze them, because will be part of it, we'll guess who did the collage. And that's another fun part of the game, the guessing game. So you can be like, oh, that's totally a Kurt collage. I got it. Yeah.
I'm keen for you to guess.
Okay, well, we'll see. I mean, I don't think I can, because I'm the one who has to take them all in and randomize and put them up.
Yeah.
But we did this in New York. We had 11 collages, and one guy guessed all 11, which is really is guessing 10, because he knew his. But he guessed 10 other collages successfully. He got the gold prize. I think the next runner-up missed 2, so it's not easy. I mean, some people have this talent of just like they know people's inner aesthetic.
Did he know the guys? Did he know the other guys?
He knew. No, he had just met Courtney and Garrett. He had met like he knew half of them, and the other half he had just met.
Wow.
But it was good. Like he sized them up and was like, "Oh yeah, this is the kind of person that would make this collage." Like they would totally have that image. But yeah, a couple of them it was easy because we always say don't use any of your own photos.
Yeah, and some of them.
And some people do. People will always do their own thing. Yeah, the only rule is find the images online. That's pretty much the only rule.
Not using your own art or your own images from the camera roll, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you can tell something from that, but like we know how to tell. It's more interesting when you're just like the sky's the limit and you're just pulling in images. So okay, we're gonna start with the self-survival area. Should I just get started? And if you have things to jump in, you want to jump in them, or unless you want to start with one of them. I kind of do this a different way every time just to keep it interesting, but I think I'm just going to start, just kind of go around. So I'll start with fortitude. That you'll notice in this bottom image here, fortitude's in the top left. and then imagine these overlaid, these two images. So the self-survival section is fortitude, security, and self-management. These are the three self-survival instincts. And they're very much around the environment and the physical. Fortitude is feeling alive through being fully immersed in raw sensory experience. It is yang, so it's very directing and it's going after that experience. It's also external, it's immersed in the external, so the hit of aliveness is somewhere out there that you only really get that hit of aliveness if you're really in it. You can't talk about it or remember it or think about it, or it's not nostalgic. It's like you're in it and that aliveness is there because of the raw sensory experience. And it can also happen through the sense of ownership and the sense of claiming a space and taking up space, expanding into a space. It's like really feeling alive through fully being immersed in the experience of being in a space and claiming that space as yours and your sense of ownership. We can go on about them, but maybe just overview. Anything else about fortitude?
I guess also because it's next to the purpose center, so it has some influence from purpose also. You can totemize these things also and have this spirit.
Like the spirit in the object, kind of. Yeah. And it's next to unknown. You'll see to its kind of to the top left. So it does have this sense of like going out and expanding into. There's a lot of chaos with unknown and fortitude. It's a lot of like loving the chaos of the real, raw, visceral experience, and only really feeling alive through that. I mean, some fortitude people seek danger or just go into every last corner of the place that they're
usually
like the city
not afraid of the gritty, grimy, and getting your hands
they just want
that.
the intensity of it. They don't want to hear about it, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to think about or remember it. They just want to do it. They just want to be. Or that's where they feel really alive. And the thing is, as we're describing these, you'll recognize we've all had a fortitude experience. Like a fortitude experience would be like going out to a fancy restaurant, because even though they like the gritty and grimy, they also are happy to. They're happy to go anywhere.
Like the gritty, grimy
it's just going into the space and like having that sense of ownership and just spending a bunch of money and just sort of being loud and not worrying if you're being obnoxious and all this stuff. Some people, this is what makes them truly feel alive more than anything. It's just that full expansion into space. Security is yin and internalizing. And so security is very, very, very different from fortitude. It's feeling alive through creating a womb or a bubble where there's basically a wall to keep out distractions, and it's fighting against clutter and chaos. And it's really like a lot of security is feeling alive through having that peace that comes. Even security people know that there's change, and there is something very deep. It's yin, so it is like deeply connected to the changing cycles and the changing seasons, and knowing that there's an ebb and flow of chaos and order. So it's not like a security person wants to just create some place with no chaos, but they're feeling alive through creating that comfort that can happen through distinguishing exactly what is their particular comfort zone. So it's not like immersive fortitude where it just wants to go in and experience it all. It's distinguishing. It's like, I like this brand of tobacco and not that one, and I like this, I feel comfortable here and not there, and I want to relax and enjoy. It's a lot of it's like enjoying the seasons, enjoying the snowfall, enjoying the endless summer on the porch, enjoying the security zone where you can go inside and you have this safe zone free from clutter and free from outside disturbances. And because it's distinguishing, it's very talky.
Yeah, I enjoy talking about this is my favorite, and this like distinguishing what's special in the mundane.
And talking about how to make it better. Like, should we move this couch over there? Is this a little too high? Is this light too bright for you? Should I? There's something about security. It's also, I think, probably the most common for the self-survival, but it's like really enjoying and feeling alive and like dialing in a space. So I'm security. I mean, part of my security is like, once all the work is done, I get to have my little heaven of like enjoying a cigarette or enjoying a drink or enjoying the breeze or enjoying these little moments free from disturbances. I don't need to feel the rush of direct intensity of life, I can actually go inside and feel the moment of reflection, of just relaxation from not having a lot of chaos around me. And we think you're also security. That was what we at least came up with before. So, I mean, we'll see. Now that you're going through this, you may end up on another one. But we did this back in Santa Fe, and we found that you were security. And then coming here, it really made a lot of sense to me, because I'm like, security people create little zones, little nooks, little corners where you can have your coffee and look out the window. And like, there's a lot of, we were just out in New York, and I found the most security cafe ever. I went on Reddit and I looked up good cafes in Williamsburg to work. And I'm a security person, so I'm like, I want to go to a comfy, cozy security zone. And I found a Reddit thread that was literally like all security people. Like, it wasn't Fortitude people. You had to go somewhere else for that. That'd be like urban spelunking or something, or like, you know, let's go into the subway tunnels, guys, or whatever. No, this was a security thread, and it was all these people being like, oh, I love such and such cafe, and they'd be like, yeah, but the tables are a little too high. Or the next one, like, yeah, but it's a little loud. Like, it's kind of echoey in there. Like, I can't really, like, security is like this finicky, like, specific, because part of it is that, so instead of immersive, it's distinguishing. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that as well, this like differentiating, distinguishing. Yeah. Like, sometimes people will come to me when we're doing this and they'll be like, well, I have this very specific heaven that's like something you didn't cover at all, and it has all of these details. It's like my perfect scenario or whatever. I'm like, well, that's security, because there's something about the distinguishing and differentiating of all the specific little details that is creating the zone where it's possible for them to like hear themselves think and go into their inner world. And that's where they really feel alive. It's like, finally they've created some homeostasis. So, any other comments on security?
No, that's it.
Okay. Then self-management. So this is the last one we're looking at in self-survival, of the three. And self-management is not immersing, so it's not wanting to go into the intensity. It's not distinguishing, so it's not like breaking it up into little bits and figuring out where they go and what's what. Self-management is memorializing. Would you describe that, maybe, what memorializing is, or how you...
Memorializing like the peak moment, or also looking forward to this ideal. So it's much more about ideal of beauty, and it's also next to the interpersonal center. So it's also a lot about beautifying yourself and comparing to other people with the interpersonal there. So also looking back at like remembering when you had your peak vital strength, and memorializing that, and just memorializing all the peaks and best times, and kind of living in the memory.
It's tracking it, and it's noticing when it changes. It's like tracking health and vitality, and like a lot of athletes can be self-management, not all, but, or beauty maxing, like you were saying, like really going into the beautiful, the Apollonian versus the sort of Dionysian fortitude. The other thing, if you look at like, there will be certain little clusters, like fortitude seems like the most not alive through mundane, routine, menial stuff. And you might say, well, who comes alive to that? Well, I'm a security person, and I do. When I'm decluttering, I totally get animated and start. It's not my heaven. I mean, my heaven is when it's all done and I get to go, and enjoy the fruits of my labor. But like, I do actually enjoy a certain level of fighting against disorder and chaos and sort of maintenance, and what the fortitude person is just like not enough of a hit of life for them. But self-management does too, because for them it can be working towards a goal and feeling alive through
aligning. There's also aligning type, so like aligning towards that perfection.
Yeah, and they can really feel alive through, like, I have a self-management friend who really feels alive doing his rower exercise machine every day, or it doesn't have to be exercise. I mean, it can be just anything that's tracking your vitality, and it can be basically, it's like if security needs their comfort zone and fortitude needs something outside, self-management is really just about aligning to an ideal and working towards that ideal, and then comparing each day to the previous or the last, or before. Like, I can sometimes tell people are self-management if they'll say like, oh, my knee's never been the same since I fell. And it's like, well, yeah, I fell and my knee hurts. And I guess it's never been the same. But as a security person, I'm just kind of like, yeah, but, you know, I wasn't, it's not like I'm an athlete or something. Like, you know. But for them, like, I'll have a friend who will literally just be like, God, I used to be able to, like, run so far. Or there's this memorial, like, holding up this ideal of peak health. Or, like, knowing I can reach it again. Like, I know that if with diligence I can reach that, and feeling alive through reaching peak physical form, peak health, peak beauty.
Yeah, also something about form and angles. And
they're often very statuesque, sitting in a statuesque way, or making sort of statuesque hand gestures and things. So Lena is self-management. So we don't have a good fortitude example. We have security, self-management. But maybe one of you is fortitude, and we'll come forth and confess. I do feel like fortitude. I think fortitude must be kind of rare. We do meet fortitude people. I mean, we have like 1 or 2 out of 10 or 12 people that we will do in a group. It's not usually much. Like I think in New York we had 1, Courtney.
Right.
And so she did kind of stand out as a fortitude person. Her funny nickname is Apocalypse Adventurer, and it really fits for my friend Courtney. And she's fortitude, and part of it is like, we can make negative stereotypes about them, but one of the things I love that Rob did is he's like, this is not the negative. This is not the shadow. This is not the ego fixation. This is the heaven. It's just some people are in heaven being fully immersed, and so we'll be at a bar and Courtney will be laughing really loud, and they'll be like literally there's a sign at the bar we were at that was like no loud laughing or something. I'm like, why did we come here? I hate this place. Like, we should be able to laugh and enjoy ourselves. And fortitude people are just fully immersed in loving being in that present moment.
And all the bars are run by security people.
A lot of them probably. They're like, this is my cozy. Like, don't be loud, guys. So no, I think there's all different kinds. I mean, I think that it's an interesting lens to see, but you can kind of see fortitude. Yeah, really wanting to stretch out, take up the space. Security seems to be the most common. It's sort of just like distinguishing what is my little particular heaven, and then self-management you find with a sort of rugged self-reliance and self-discipline and enjoying saying no to alcohol or saying no to staying up late, or just like things that sort of make you feel more alive through working towards a goal with your health or your physique or your physical vitality. It's like vitality, like, oh, since I started taking this supplement, I feel way more vital. Or since, not even just that, like a phase in my life, like since, like, wow, that was a really bad relationship because I was really, now I feel so much more alive than I'm like in. I hear self-management people. I'm not talking about you. I was thinking more like Sean would say these things. But yeah, so self-management, you can kind of tell them through like a statuesque physique and a kind of perfectionistic aesthetic. You'll see that there's a huge aesthetic component to each of these. So for instance, we were talking about whether Wes Anderson movies are more security or self-management. I was saying they could be kind of security because there's all this distinguishing of all the little things, like, oh, the person has an eye patch and they have this and they have all these little. But then Lena pointed out none of the sets or places look very comfortable to be in. And so it's probably self-management, because self-management has this really minimal, sleek, industrial, Art Deco mannequin. Like, we went to the security cafe, and then the next day we went to a self-management cafe, quote unquote, and it had a robot arm that made your coffee, and everything was like white, blank, minimalist, and like industrial and metal. And Lena was like, this place is great. Like, this is, So, and like the angles of buildings can be really exciting for self-management aesthetic. But it's a lot of things. It can be sleek, anything sleek, like exotic animals.
Towards perfection and beauty.
Yeah, perfectionistic beauty stuff.
Right.
I mean,
Vitality.
some of the collages would have something like Greek statues with chiseled abs and columns, and like kind of Apollonian symbolism is what you might see. So if you're wanting to fake us out and you're not self-management and you want us to guess wrong. Okay, so any questions about self-survival or before we continue?
Is that to the room or just her?
No. I was just asking. All of you, everybody.
Okay, at the end, if some of us aren't sure about what we are, can we have back and forth and try and ask them what we think we are?
Yeah, I mean, I love that, and I also think it would be exciting to do it in the context of your collage. So when we're looking at your collage, we'll say what we see, and then you can say, well, I'm pretty sure I'm not that one. And we'll be like, oh, okay, well, which one did you think? Or like, I have no idea which one. Or I mean, if you want to do really quick, if you have any like questions about like if you narrowed it down to 2, or just if none of them seem like they fit. If none of them seem like they fit, you might be self-survival last, because that's the other thing is like the ones that are harder to see can sometimes just be ones that. It's like if you're self-survival first, you might see a little bit of yourself in all of them, because you're so strong in self-survival that it's like. But then if you're self-survival last, you might see yourself in none of them and be like, I really like none of these really make me feel alive. Like what's so. Okay, well let's just go on to interpersonal. So interpersonal is made up of alchemy, community, and bonding.
Right.
Do you want to do any of these, or should I just
Sure.
keep going? Or okay.
Can start with alchemy. So similar that with fortitude, this is immersive, but this one is yin. So it's like taking in, blending in with the others, just feeling alive. Also, it's next to self-survival, so it's very like physical chemistry. Feel with the other person. Just want to blend and have this amazing, sparkling conversation, and just blend with each other. But then when the person is gone, then it's like the plug is pulled. Like you can't stay in that heaven unless you're immersed in it with that person.
Well, I have a comment on that one, which is something we found recently. We typed a couple of people in New Zealand who ended up being alchemy, and both of them, I think, maybe because one person had been married and another person, I mean, I don't know. We were describing it in terms of romantic relationships.
Right.
And neither of them fully clicked with that description. I do think it's accurate that there is something about the physical because it's next to self-survival, and there's something about feeling alive through the pheromones and the chemistry and like, but in both cases, like they both related more to coming to life through the exchange of the mix in a social situation. So one person, for instance, had hosted dinner parties kind of like this, a little bit smaller, but still we had the people over and having conversations and talking. That's what made her feel really alive, because there was so much of an exchange, and being yin, she didn't have to direct the conversation at all and could just be filled up by this exchange that's happening and like the chemistry of different people coming together. And then the guy, he also didn't relate so much to the intensity of the alchemical connection with another person. Sometimes you see that really obviously, like especially if they're fortitude alchemy, because then it's double immersive and they're just like so deep in that. But in his case, he was security with alchemy, and he didn't really see as much of that, but he really, really, really enjoyed being filled up to the point where he wouldn't direct conversation, but he wanted me to keep telling him things. And so I ended up feeling like I was almost like performing for him. And that was the alchemy for him, because it's yin, and he wanted to see what I had to give him. And his type was actually triple yin, and the nickname for that is dance monkey. Not that they're the monkeys dancing. I'm the monkey dancing. They're the ones saying dance to me. So basically, they're kind of like use silence and use like imploring. They're kind of imploring all the time, like, go on. And I'm like, no, I just told you everything. And they're like, go on. And I just know it's like this sort of yin, like that's another form of alchemy, is like wanting to be filled up and not have to yang direct it or go in, you know, but just being able to kind of like sample the mix of the chemistry with different people and get filled up by different people's thing and like see how the different mixes go. That seems like a good,
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
got a question.
Yeah.
You've mentioned yin a few times. Does that mean yin is internal and yang is external?
No, that's a separate one. And in this specific system, you can think of yin as escaping and as also as non-directive. So like security is escaping from all the chaos. It's sort of not exactly withdrawing. I would say the main thing I see with yin is sort of non-directive. So yang is very directing. So like fortitude is like, we're going here. Like we're going to go to the end of this tunnel. We're going to go to this place. It's like directing towards the thing. You'll see that there will be a yang internal that's bonding.
Yeah, it's
and
kind of like masculine and feminine in OPS a bit.
Okay.
Like masculine or yang is like directive, and yin is like you are getting affected.
Yep.
Like.
And I can tell another brief anecdote about an alchemy guy who's also triple yin, dance monkey, and that's our friend George, who I know. He hated it. So George is a brilliant playwright and actor living in New York, and he's 73 years old, and he knows New York so well. He says he's not from there because he lived in New Jersey for like 20 years. I'm like, no, you're from New York. Anyway, but being this triple yin, it was so interesting going out with him, and I hung out with him a number of times, is that he would spark conversation. So it's not like, I don't want people to think that like yin means like timid or like unwilling like to talk, or even introverted, because this is not the same layer as OPS. Like he's very extroverted. He will spark up that conversation, but the yin is he won't direct anything. So literally it's like this persistent imploring for other people to fill him up. So he would say to the guy at the Whitney, he's like, to the security guard, he's like, just like some young guy hanging out there, what do you do? And the security guard goes, oh, I work here at Whitney. But what do you do? Well, I'm a security guard. I'm working here at the Whitney. But what do you do? He keeps doing this. We leave, and we came back 5 minutes later, and he's like, this guy's in theater school. This guy's working on a play. Like, he's like learned about him finally. He's probably also an OE guy for the OBS folks there. He's finally gathered. He's done his gather. But it's this very, like, you might say, isn't that yang? He's pestering, he's pushing. Well, no, he's really just wanting to be filled up. And he's sort of like giving no direction whatsoever of what to say. He's not like, what do you like? What are your interests? He's just like just leaving it. He's just creating a space. He's creating a space for the other person to share. And that's what makes him feel alive. But he hated the name Dance Monkey. He was like, who did you pay? Did you pay Rob to be called Pixelated Dreamscape and I get Dance Monkey? Can I write him a check? And like I'm like, well, you know, it's like quote dance comma. He's like, I know, I hate it even more. It's like, because it's not that he's the monkey. It's like, yeah, I get that. I don't want to be telling everyone to dance. So anyway, you will all get your cute nicknames soon enough. We'll get to that part. Okay, so we were on community.
Right. So community wants to also talk. So this is also the talkie distinguishing. So all the ones on the triangle are talkie. And finding this what's specific in the mundane, and also like what's our raw authentic selves, and like distinguishing what each person brings and how we're all connected, and finding your community and being really specific, like all the different kinds of communities. And
it's breaking it up into little bits. It's sort of like the distinguishing is always seeing the difference between all these things, that for the other instincts they're not really feeling alive from that. Like I'm bonding, Lena's bonding. You're also. This is the bonding couch. We're buds here. This is the buds couch. But bonding doesn't really. Yeah, you might be bonding too. We'll find out. But it's very different from community, because like I will see my community friend who I see is in like underground art scene culture, and he would hate the term underground art scene culture because he's in like 5 different communities and he doesn't really feel like he's a part of any of them. Like he just is acutely aware of how different he is from them, and how they're different from each other, and how they all have different distinct little micro genre names from each other. And like he really enjoys distinguishing the differences in people and their roles and their values and what they're into. I used to throw a big conference in actually back where I live for 5 years in Santa Fe. That was just, I sort of stepped down this year finally. I'm like off the hook from doing this thing. And for me as a bonding person, I just wanted to like see my friends. It was just bonding. Like we'll get to that in a moment, what bonding is, but as it sounds, it is about the bond you make, and it's specific to the person. Well, the new director is a community person, and I didn't pick her because she's community, but like she is obviously in heaven, like making sure everyone's needs are met, not in a people pleasery way, but like thinking about elders, people with disabilities, what about hearing impaired, what about like different members of the community that I just sadly did not feel that, you know, I did my best throwing the conference to accommodate everybody's needs, but it's just not where my head was. And like we all do all of these things, but she truly feels alive creating committees and creating groups that are tasked with these specific areas. It's like so detailed. Right. It's like feeling alive through the details of everything that goes into the interpersonal. And I find a lot of community people love talking about relationships or hearing people talk about relationships, like really coming to life, like analyzing it and sort of understanding like these are the values I bring to the relationship and these are the values you bring to the relationship and how different we are and how we meet. It's just, it's really just breaking things up into little bits.
And they say they are extra warm and like everyone is welcome and everyone has a space and a room of it somewhere.
Yeah, like I consider myself pretty warm, but at the end of the day, being a bonding person, I do select the people that I've bonded with, and once we've bonded, I'm really excited to see them. And so if it's a big event, I'm not really mingling as much as I'm just kind of going to the people I bonded with. So bonding, maybe we can go into the last one here.
Yeah, so bonding is actually yang and internalizing and next to the purpose center. So it's like idolizing internally this bond you have made with someone. So you don't even need them to be there specifically, but you remember, because this is also a memorializing type, so you treasure that memory you have of those peak memories of those bonds that you have. And all relational, not just romantic, but all sorts of bonds that you have. Like
friends.
So it's like this specific, so it's a little bit more closed off. Because like the person I have a bond with, that's more special than someone you don't have a bond with.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, is that it's kind of like once you've made the bond, you have this inner image of the person or inner memory, and even if it's 20 years later, you remember that amazing time you had, and then you're excited to see them again, and then you have to reevaluate the bond and see if it's still there. But it's very it is making memos, making mementos, making like reminders, and then really getting that enjoyment of being able to like relive that high almost. That remember that time we snuck into that place and we almost got caught and we ran there and we did. It's like those peak experiences that you hold on to, and you almost have comfort, or you get access to that hit completely alone. You don't really need the other person there. I mean, you will eventually. It's like the juice runs out, but it's almost like things are juiced up in this internal space, and you can sort of remember that and go into that bond and feel comfort from that. So it's probably the most different from alchemy, where they really have a crisis when the person's away and they no longer have that hit. Like, you've taken away my heaven. I was in heaven when we were in this alchemical exchange, and now you're gone, and now my heaven's gone. Well, bonding's not that way. You can extrapolate a lot of meaning from that encounter. You can think back wistfully, and you might be sad, and you might miss them, but you can still integrate that with, it's almost like the heaven is still that feeling of the remembering and looking back on it. And
having mementos of the other person.
It can be very idealizing, just like self-management. You can have your partner's picture on the wall, and you're sort of holding out for that idealized image. Okay, well, should we get to purpose? Any interpersonal questions? Any clarifications? Okay, we'll get to
one question. Bonding, I think you said, was yang.
Yeah.
That's
Is there
right.
a yin bonding?
The yin is alchemy for the interpersonal.
Oh, okay. So it's
And
like
then community is aligning. So it's all about aligning yourself to the right community or to the right person, or how do you, it's kind of the neutral or the middle between yin and yang. So
okay,
yeah,
so
fortitude is yang, security is yin, self-management's aligning, and then alchemy is yin, community is aligning, bonding is yang. So these are just categories they belong to, and you can get some pretty interesting insights through seeing like commonalities between the triple yang or the triple yin or the triple immersive or triple memorializing, or and then the different mixes of them. I have a good friend who's triple distinguishing, so that's security, community, existentialism, and that's like the most talky and the most breaking up reality into distinct bits possible. And the nickname for that one is existence catalog. And if you met him, you would agree that like he is an encyclopedia of, he's like a meme lord, like lore master of just like obscure like Wikipedia and just the nature of reality and what's going on and all the little micro genres you haven't heard of and all the, but also just like mundane things. Like he's just very into the mundane reality of just like cataloging existence. Like it really is something when you're triple distinguishing, you start to see like he's in heaven talking about the difference between all these little things. And if you're not a distinguishing person, you're kind of like, aren't those all the same thing? It's like it's the same image Pam meme, you know, of that. But if you're distinguishing, it's not the same. Like they are all different, and there is something special about each one. And so yeah, you'll be able to kind of see through the lens of the categories that they belong to, as well when you earn yours. Okay, so the last one we're going to look at is purpose, and this is self-significance, existentialism, and unknown. Self-significance is the immersive one for purpose, and it's kind of a weird idea to be like, what does it mean to be immersed in purpose? Like, what does it mean to be getting high or feeling alive or getting off on your purpose? And it sounds kind of self-centered, but again, there's nothing negative in this system. This is talking about heavens. I mean, we think your self-significance, potentially, I don't know if you want to share about that, but the way I share, and maybe you can comment, is that self-significance is seeing what they can do that nobody else can do because of their unique position, and almost feeling alive through making some little but important change, like connecting this person with that person, or helping this young musician get a gig and go on their way in a career, or like kind of, or even just like raising the bar in how you behave in a certain way of like being like, I'm gonna act different, and I'm gonna make this domino effect. And in order to do that, it's all about understanding who you really are and going fully into your story, where you came from, what is your ancestry, what is your heritage, what was your upbringing like, what early life experiences and formative experiences did you have? Like, how are you in a position where you can do something that nobody else can do, even if it seems totally tiny, but it's nevertheless important? Like making a difference in some way. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it will be, like I've heard one self-significance person say it's that she started a job where everyone was talking bad about the owner, and she refused to do that. And she's like, sure enough, after a month, people stopped bad-mouthing the owner and morale improved, and actually I made a pretty big impact. So it's like some little thing where like they just show up in a different way. But you can also often see that self-significance people have this sense of their upbringing and where they came from, and it's like feeling alive through fulfilling the purpose of the trajectory of like leaving your place of origin and going into the world.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like, yeah, it's kind of like your story in a way, like what like discovering what you can do, and so it is very much a personal story. Compare that to existentialism. Existentialism takes themselves out of it completely. It's not interested in my story. Like if I'm unknown, as I mentioned earlier, but if I were self-significance, I would be like, okay, what was it like being a white man who grew up in Boston in the 1990s, having my formative experience and this, and where, like I would be like analyzing like my own. I don't come to life doing that. I know those things. I can tell a biography. Existential is also not my heaven. That would not make me come to life either. Existential is taking yourself out of it completely and wanting to see this sort of God's eye view from above. It's also distinguishing, as I mentioned with my friend who's an existence catalog. So he wants to existentially know about all the different purposes and all the different things out there in the world. And it's just like this like, let me take myself out of it and just understand how the world works. And understand all the different possible purposes there could ever be, and look at everybody else's purposes and see, why are they here? I don't need to figure out why I'm here. I'm only here to understand why everybody else is here, and what is these big existential questions, like why are we here? Like I'm trying to figure that out, so I have to look at all of the other people's purposes. Any comments on existentialism?
No.
It's yang, I guess. That's kind of a surprise, but maybe it's a surprise. I don't know.
Directing, like, can make all these statements, like grouping together and distinguishing between all the different purposes.
It's like community, but extending beyond interpersonal relationships to all of reality, basically. And then the purpose center, it's sort of like, the existential purpose is to understand the big existential questions of why are we here and what is the meaning of life, and all of these kind of intense philosophical questions. And then unknown is our lead instinct, and unknown is yin, but it's also external, so it's like going out into the world, kind of like fortitude, but it's going out to be filled up by the mystery. And it's not fully just going out into the world, because it's not self-survival, it's bordering self-survival. So you can get a hit of unknown by exploring an actual physical location or going, I was mentioning earlier how fortitude might be doing like urban exploration or things like that. Unknown might also, really. The difference is that because unknown is in the purpose center, it can also get that hit through discovering some new nuance in a typology system, or the creator of this system is unknown first. We're unknown first. We get that same feeling of aliveness and hit of I'm in heaven through exploring some mystery that we're curious about. It doesn't have to be something physical. It can also be something physical. Sometimes if I'm feeling really uninspired and I want to get, I'll go walk, and I'll just walk to random places to explore the unknown. Ooh, what's down that alley? And I'll just sort of give in to my curious cat, sensibility and get that hit from the physical. But it can also be from studying and researching and thinking about the mysteries, and its whole attitude to purpose is almost like we might not even know what our purpose is. There's always more purpose out there just waiting to be discovered, but we need to we're yin, so we're waiting for it to come to us, but we're also external, so we're wanting to go out there and find it in a way.
Yeah.
So somewhere out there's something that will solve it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of loving of maps and keys and secrets and mysteries and all that. So we've gone through all 9. We're going to have a break in a minute. Lena can explain the collage exercise. Any questions before we get into that? Yes.
Unknown immersive.
No, it is next to immersive, so it seems very immersive because it's next to fortitude, but it's actually memorializing. It's sort of going there to then have the memory of that peak experience. Do you remember when we looked in that cave and we ended up finding this thing? Or do you remember when it's that peak experience. I've only been to Burning Man twice, but it's still held up as an ideal to me of unknown, because I was very cynical about it. This isn't gonna be my heaven. This isn't gonna give me any. It's oh my God, no! It's 80,000 people, and you don't know what you're gonna find down any alley. And you can walk down an alley, and it'll be a recreation of a busy street in Tokyo with ramen bars, and you can go in another alley, and it'll be. I'm also OE, but you can that unknown thing. I've now memorialized that, and so I think back to it. I'm oh, I hope I get to go to Burning Man again, even though I thought that it was going to be terrible and I was going to hate it. But it was it was totally a heavenly experience. And at the time I was immersed, I was this is incredible. But even though I was sort of immersed in it, it's the moment the experiences were over, I immediately started to remember them or try to save them somehow. I want to never forget this feeling. I want to never forget this thing. Whereas if I was really fortitude, I would just be that's awesome. Now I got to go somewhere else because I can't get that feeling thinking back on it. It's being in it to get it. So yeah, it's kind of, it's next to the immersive, but it's not. Okay, well maybe you can explain the collage exercise, then we can take a nice break.
Yeah, I mean you have already explained it, I think. But
okay,
if anyone having any questions?
Okay, well yeah, I'll just say if there's no, are there any more questions? Anything on this?
Sorry, I did have one. If it's a rabbit hole, we don't have to go into it. But can you be both fortitude and unknown?
Yeah.
Yes, because they're in different centers. Yeah,
okay.
And there's cute nicknames for those. Yeah, you can find my friend who's Fortitude Community Unknown. She's an apocalypse adventurer. So, or is that dazzling? No, apocalypse adventurer. There's another one that's dazzling kamikaze. They're a really fun. they're really fun nicknames. So we're gonna see what you guys have.
And I'm triple memorializing, so I'm delayed response unit.
Yeah, that's a really cute one. Yeah, he named lots of the self-management ones, kind of. Yeah, he's really hit it on the head. So, well, thank you. Yeah.
So self-significance is sort of my path based on my previous experiences, helping other people maybe find their path, creating small little changes.
Yeah, feeling alive and seeing what you can do, your purpose. What can you do that other people can't do?
It's
even if it's some little thing.
and immersive. So immersed in your own personal purpose, what's special about
there's
you
one combination
with other people.
Yeah, fortitude with community with self-significance they nickname rags to riches, and it's found in a lot of rappers because a lot of it's the fortitude of I'm feeling alive, being fully immersed in all of my ownership of all my money and all my stuff. Community, I'm bringing my whole crew with me, I'm bringing my friends with me, we're all part of this. And then self-significance, this is my story of how I grew up And I overcame adversity, and I got here where I am through my. So it's like really feeling alive through telling that personal story.
And so then, okay, that makes and then so the unknown is more. So existentialism is looking from above, and then unknown is sort of like finding purpose through the discovery rather than just sort of.
Yeah, and like not even really knowing what the purpose is sometimes, but just being like, there's a sense that if I do this, I'm going to discover the purpose, or I'm going to, it'll be behind that door, or like I just want to, the curiosity, the wonder, the amazement. So great. Well, that's it for the lecture part. Let's give the instructions one more time for the collages, and then we'll take a half-hour break. It can be a little longer if people need, but I think we're actually right on time. I literally was like, let's start at 8, we'll do the collage at 9, and then let's say we'll come back at 9:45, so we have a little extra time. And I hope everyone can stick around. I know it's getting a little late, but at least stick around for the beginning to see your collage. We're going to set up the projector, and we'll have a projection screen here. And so, is everybody clear on how to make a collage? Like, you feel good about it? Just pick some images. Okay, great. You can either airdrop them to my phone, or you can email them to me, and I can give you my email address. And then I'm going to randomize them so nobody knows whose collage is what. And then we'll put them up here, and we'll all guess. And then we don't really have any prizes. I guess I asked Lena earlier the prize, and she said honor. So the prize is the honor of getting the most right. So
Last minute.
yeah, no, we don't have any prizes this time, but you get the honor of getting the gold star for getting the most right. And then after that, once we know who did which one, so what we're going to do is I'll make a list of everybody who submits collages. And then you can write down which one you think. I can get some extra paper, and we can do that for people. And then, let me make sure. Okay, that's good. So let's take a break, and we'll be back at 9:45.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
You're looking like 9 photos, 9 or 10.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so
How many
much.
photos should we do?
Memo. Well, we are memorializing people, so we like the photos. Oh no, you're saying. Oh, I thought you were saying.
9, 12,
I misunderstood.
Up to you. You can.
But I do rate this 9.
I think